Rip to our boy Zonka. We return here again. Gachiakuta, episode 18. We start this episode off on a recap on the major cliffhangers of last episode. We do get this really awesome action shot of Jabber jumping up while carrying Zonka. Oh my goodness. So while Jabber's in this happy moment, he's thinking about the reward that the boss might give him. Suddenly, we see him get shot right in the leg. It's a pretty funny moment. We don't get to see exactly who it is. They're trying to leave this up to a mystery. Jabber just looks down and he's like, wait, what? He's out on the ground. He's like, who did that? Boom. The opening hits. That's how you start an episode. Now, once the episode starts back, we have Injin who hears this gunshot going off and he turns around. Now, this is where we hear the opposing raider facing off against him say, oh crap, over and over. Injin then begins to pay attention to his opponent, and what he's saying is sort of something we need to note here. Things are starting to settle down. I need to hurry or I'll get the zap. So this very shy raider begins to panic. They don't even know how to start this battle, and they're asking themselves. Finally, they begin to talk to Injin, which we do get a name for Injin's opponent. It is Fu Oyster. Finally, we get to understand why Fu is panicking. So he was told by Zodel to present the cleaner as a part of an offering. Not only that, but he's supposed to be doing it faster than all the other raiders, and if he doesn't, something bad is going to happen to him. So Fu is powered by urgency as well as fear. He wants Injin to go ahead and hit him first. However, Injin smiles and thinks about it for a second and replies no. As we hear Fu reply with huh, we're taken to a black screen with some text. A little while ago, dot dot dot. When we start back, we get to see Ryu on the ground and Hugh coming towards her. The title card plays, and then we come back, and I'm just talking about cinema. We see Hugh throw some lightning straight at Ryu, and she ducks it like the Matrix. This is just sick, dude. After Ryu gets done dodging Hugh's attack, she just kind of sits there facing, and it's like the two are having this mini face off. Ryu is kind of in her head, and she flashbacks to a second during which she was dodging. It was something with the wind, I believe, and you can kind of see with this glare in her eye, and she gets this idea. Then she begins to just run off, and of course, Hugh is trying to chase her down now. Hugh turns the corner, but Ryu is nowhere to be found. Hugh begins to get very angry. Ryu continues running away and hiding, till we hear, I was spot on, and I love this grin to go along with it. Ryu had it all found out. Her zap has a timer. She comes down to try and cut her hair. However, Hugh somehow dodged it? This turns into a Hugh counterattack. So at first it seems like she kicks Ryu, and then she goes for this big punch in her stomach. Ryo's now down to her knees, coughing up blood. Hugh taunts her by saying, don't think you can cut my hair twice. So as Hugh is belittling Ryu, we do get to learn something new about her, that she can move her hair with the same validity as nerves themselves. Hugh also explains the power of Miri, her comb. The static generation of it does have a time limit, however, she can voluntarily turn it off. But no matter how she tries to keep it on, 1 to 2 minutes is the absolute maximum. So with quite the surprise, after Ryu gets to hear a dead giveaway by Hugh, she gets right up, even after coughing up blood. And we get to hear something that even I was starting to think. I thought your weakness was wind too. But Hugh's real weakness is actually time limit. So following that, we get to see Hugh come at Ryu with a furious amount of moves, and Ryu starts to notice them. This is where she asks her, what was your previous job? And we get to find out that Hugh is a part of this southern woman's tribe called Cilia. So as the two are brawling, this is where we hear Hugh call Ryo's weapon ill-suited, which she shrinks it. And then Rio's like, yeah, I fight better on my own. Now, with no weapons involved, Rio gives you her name finally. And so they sit there for a second. It's almost like a Western. Suddenly, it is time, and the rock music comes out. They are fighting, smashing into things, just going wild. So funny enough, both of them exchange punches to each other's faces. Then we see the first one to break the rules of this fight, while it seems unfair in a way. It is Hugh who uses her comb, bringing out her electricity, shooting it straight at Ryu. She misses, and then we see Ryu bring out her scissors, she throws them. It's just going crazy. After a long bit of fighting, the two face up again, but this time both are very much bruised, and Ryu is still coughing up blood. And it's almost like Ryu has given up hope. Okay, things are getting pretty bonkers here. So it seemed like Ryu was beginning to lose hope because what she asks is it impossible to ask for help? And Hugh is basically telling her, hey, there's no escaping, but I'll finally put you down. Then we see Rio reach for something we really don't know what to expect, but it isn't until we hear a gun cocking sound, and Hugh's reaction is like a panicky, scary face. All we see now is a black screen, two shots fired, and we hear the bullets hit the ground. Can you explain it to me? We come back, Hugh drops to the ground, and of course Rio is smiling. She is blicked up, bro. So wait, hold up. What is going on at this point? Still, Hugh is not dead. Rio gets on top of her, gun pointed at her, and we get to know Engine told her not to kill people, but because he can't hear the gunshots, she's able to get away with this, and after all, she wouldn't have done this if she wasn't strong herself. So as Hugh is panicking, we get to find out some things about Ryu, but there is one more important than the other. First of all, the gun isn't a vital instrument, it's simply just a gun. What a relief. But this next part, her scissors, she has swore not to get any blood on them from something in the past, which makes us think, what's happened in the past? So this gun came from Rio's former boss. So with quite the plot twist, we get to find out that Rio was an assassin. Hugh is down for the count. Rio was perfectly able to hit her vital parts, making her now immobile. And so she wants to know where her friends are, so she questions Hugh with her gun. But Hugh doesn't know anything. Only the manhole kid and the boss do. So without knowing where exactly they are, Rio thinks about the pipes and where they might be connected to. Not only that, but she thinks about Rudo, who she thinks shouldn't have got involved with that girl. And so we finally go back to present time. Bringing us to the point where Jabber got shot, but Rio just ends up spraying a bunch of bullets into him, which is kind of ridiculous. So we get to see the aftermath of Jabber, and dude has so many bullet holes in him, he's even bleeding out. But Rio says, you're strong, you'll live. She moves on to see how Zonka's doing. Good thing he's breathing, and the two begin to make their way out to hopefully get Zonka some help. We transition, and all we see is one of Cthulhu's portals, and things come into picture. It is Zodal standing in front of Rudo still. Slowly, Cthulhu comes out, and we're wondering what's going to happen. All she does is go over to Zodal and update him on all the battles that were going on. Something to note from the update is because Engine wanted to attack first, the battle against Fu couldn't begin. As when it comes to Bundus, he's talking to the Santa Bros to find out more information about the cleaners. It's cooking, it is cooking. So Zodal says that the cleaners might be a little harder than he thought. And he says, let's move. Chthoni disappears. Suddenly, right below Rudo, she has a portal, and she begins dragging him down. Fully down in the portal we go. And we now land in this same exact room with the weird red thing as Rudo crashes down. So now the three of them are in this room. Rudo gets up, and he's angry that they keep teleporting him all over. Now, Zodal doesn't like the attitude of Rudo. It's still with the continued offer of the destruction. And as Zodal goes on, he is kind of talking about Rudo's anger. And we have an outburst of that go off. And I think I'm seeing something. We hear a heartbeat. So, whatever this red thing is, I think it's reacting to the anger of Rudo. But right after hearing this heartbeat, we hear Zodal say, I wish a slightly cooler spirit had fallen instead. So there might be some type of trash beast or something that needs a spirit in order to revive it or activate it, and it could be fueled by anger, possibly. This is just my guess. We get to see Gita is still in this room, and she is currently in hiding, scared for her life as this is going down. Zodal takes the attention again, and he talks about ascending to the sphere, and he walks up to this red thing and begins to feed it the boots. So wait, this thing eats Giver's items? Whatever this red thing is, it begins to take a hold of these boots. It's almost like it jabs them. And Zodal mentions something right in front of Rudo, the Watchmen series. As Rudo lays there in shock, Zodal lists the items. So, Rudo's gloves and his cape, which is his vital instrument, more than likely. And lastly, the boots. And we hear this daunting thing from Zodal himself. I was trying to make the Watchmen series to end this episode. What an absolute crazy episode. So Rio ends up being an assassin that had a gun in her pocket the whole time. She easily took down Hugh as well as Jabber, and dude, Jabber got demolished with that pistol. I would have thought somehow he would have noticed her and maybe even, I don't know, counterattacked a little bit or even scratched her. But I guess bringing a knife to a gun battle isn't the move. Well, scissors. Well, hand scissors. That makes more sense, funny enough. And the bigger thing we need to talk about is that ending. So, Solo reveals to Rudo the Watchmen series, which seems like he created. Maybe we'll get to figure out what the Watchmen series is in the next episode. And the other big thing to go along with that ending is what is this red thing? Why is he feeding it? And is it currently activating? His cape, we also don't know what that does. Loads of mysteries. 25 episodes total in this season. I really want to know where we're going to leave off. Are we just going to be in the middle of something, continue on into a second season, or kind of end it like the earlier Raider battle where it ends off on one getting beat, but not beat all the way to where they can fight a bigger battle, maybe evolve a bit? That'd be nice. I'd like to see our cleaners grow a bit and the Raiders also grow and have a really crazy matchup. But I'm really loving this arc right now. It's just been going insane. And if I had to rate the episode, I'm going to say it is a nice 9. Tell me what you guys' thoughts are on Gachiakuta episode 18. Hope you guys stay safe. And until next time, peace out, guys.